PLA conducts military drills around Taiwan. Taiwan Defense Ministry condemns provocation. Keelung Mayor Hsieh Kuo-liang survives recall vote. Former Taiwan President Tsai attends Forum 2000 in Prague. Taiwan says 4 iPhone maker staff detained in China. Boeing to cut approximately 17,000 jobs over the coming months. Swine fever threatens Italy's prized prosciutto production. Rafael Nadal announces retirement from tennis. Strong solar storms hit Earth.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, October 14th, and here are your top stories. In local news, the People's Liberation Army launched Joint Sword 2024B military exercises around Taiwan today, prompting a strong condemnation from Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense, which has deployed forces to safeguard the nation's sovereignty. The recall vote against Keelung Mayor Hsieh Kuo-liang failed, with 86,014 votes opposing the recall and 60,934 votes supporting it. City Council Speaker Tsai urged Hsieh Kuo-liang to address public dissatisfaction. Former Taiwan President Tsai attended a Forum 2000 opening in Prague, sitting alongside Czech Senate President Milos Prosciutto. Over 400 global figures, including Russian opposing leader Vladimir Kara-Murza, also participated. And in global news, 4 employees of Taiwan's Foxconn, the world's largest iPhone assembler, have been detained in China under quite strange circumstances. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council stated that the 4 were detained in Zhengzhou, home to a major Foxconn plant assembling Apple's iPhones, on suspicion of breach of trust. It said the circumstances of this case are quite strange. The council added that the case may be linked to corruption and abuse of power by a small number of Chinese security officials, without providing further details.
The Mainland Affairs Council said Foxconn had stated that the company suffered no losses and that the 4 employees had done nothing to harm the company's interests. Calls to China's Taiwan Affairs Office seeking comment outside of office hours went unanswered. In June, Taiwan's government raised its travel warning for China, advising its citizens not to go unless absolutely necessary, following a threat from Beijing to execute those deemed die-hard Taiwan independence supporters. Taiwanese businesses have invested billions of dollars in China since the country began landmark economic reforms 4 decades ago, drawn by shared culture and language, as well as much lower costs.
Boeing will reduce its total workforce by 10% over the coming months, which amounts to around 17,000 jobs based on the company's December 2023 workforce numbers. CEO Kelly Oberg stated that due to these reductions, Boeing would not proceed with the next cycle of furloughs. Oberg also said that the 777X program would be delayed until 2026. The 767 freighter program would end in 2027. And the company expects substantial new losses in Boeing Defense, Space, and Security this quarter.
The company said Friday it expects to report third-quarter revenue of $17.8 billion, a GAAP loss per share of $9.97, and operating cash flow of $1.3 billion. The announcement follows tens of thousands of Boeing workers voting to strike last month after rejecting the proposed contract. The company has faced significant financial pressures and scrutiny due to a series of failures involving its aircraft and supply chain. On January 5, a door plug blew out of a 737 MAX 9 aircraft at 15,000 feet during an Alaska Airlines flight, prompting a federal investigation. Boeing's Starliner spacecraft, developed for NASA's Commercial Crew Program, has also experienced multiple delays and rising costs before its first crewed launch to the International Space Station in June.
One of Giovanni Arioli's sows tested positive for African swine fever in late August. Within a week, all 6,200 sows, piglets, and fattening pigs on his farm south of Milan were slaughtered under strict protocols to halt the disease threatening Italy's €20 billion prosciutto, cured sausage, and pork industry. Since swine fever appeared on the peninsula in January 2022, Italy has culled nearly 120,000 pigs, 3/4 of them in the past 2 months alone as the emergency intensified.
Arioli said, "It's a desolation. No one is allowed in or out except for employees, and even then under strict hygiene protocols that require clean coveralls and boots for use only inside the premises." The disease spiked with 24 outbreaks in early September, most of them in Lombardy. The area of greatest concern, where the disease has been confirmed in domestic pigs, extends 4,500 square kilometers and includes neighboring Piedmont and Emilia-Romagna, a region world-renowned for its prized Parma prosciutto. The impact of the swine fever outbreak goes further. Farmers in the 23,000 square kilometer area also face restrictions due to infected wild boars or because they fall within a buffer zone.
Rafael Nadal, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, announced his retirement Thursday at the age of 38, bringing to a close the most dominant clay court career in the history of the sport. Nadal's 22 Grand Slam titles put him second on the all-time men's list behind Novak Djokovic, known for his mastery of clay and his on-court rivalry with Roger Federer. Nadal said he would play his final match in November's Davis Cup. The latter part of his career has been plagued by injuries, which contributed to his decision to retire.
Born on the Spanish vacation island of Majorca, Nadal won 2 Grand Slam titles each at Wimbledon and the Australian Open. However, his legendary career was built on his sheer dominance of the French Open, where he won 14 titles in 17 years from 2005 to 2022. His record at Roland Garros is an astonishing 1-1-2 wins and 4 losses. He became so synonymous with the tournament that in 2021, a statue was unveiled there depicting his trademark left-handed forehand. Despite being the sport's premier left-handed player, Nadal is actually right-handed for other tasks, such as writing. He said, "I'm a little bit strange in all of that. I eat and play basketball with the right. I play tennis and football with the left."
A severe geomagnetic storm brought spectacular light displays to many parts of the United States on Thursday night, with skies as far south as San Antonio bathed in rich hues of magenta and green. The aurora borealis, or northern lights as they are commonly known, are typically more visible in Earth's polar regions. But due to heightened solar activity, these dancing displays could be seen with the naked eye in numerous southern states. The storm was ranked 4 out of 5 in severity, allowing for more widespread illuminations across night skies, particularly in Europe.
The timing of the strong solar activity brought the spectacle to many other regions of the world, with photographers sharing images from England to China, and even Australia, where the phenomenon known as Aurora Australis, or Southern Lights, was captured in Fish Creek, near Melbourne. Auroras appeared to rain down over pumpjacks in Alberta, Canada. Skies burst with red and green behind a windmill in Buckinghamshire, England. Lights showered a spectacular array of colors over the kissing trees in Kinghorn, Scotland, early on Friday. The northern lights, weakened though still visible, were spotted behind an observation tower in New Braunfels, outside San Antonio. Visible solar activity is significantly less common in the more southern regions of the U.S.
The answer for last Friday was B, reiterated. The manager reiterated the importance of customer satisfaction during the meeting. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of swine fever threatens Italy's priced prosciutto production. Number 1, slaughter. 屠宰,屠杀. The cattle were slaughtered for their meat. Number 2, halt, 停止,暂停. The construction work was halted due to safety concerns. Number 3, cull, 选择性屠杀,剔除. The sick animals were culled to prevent the disease from spreading. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comments section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.